and people telling me, there are a lot of people telling me that they can't afford to eat right and are healthy because it costs too much. So people are eating more like a convenience food, but I really don't believe that you have to eat convenience food. When I first moved to New York, almost 3 years ago, the first 2 years, I kind of dibbled and dabbled. I spent a lot of money at Whole Foods thinking that was the only way to go, and that was not the only way to go. Getting frustrated with that process, I stopped eating organic foods because I was like, oh, I can't find food. And like most Americans, let's face it, we're lazy. We just go for the convenience every time. And so I got complacent and I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to eat right no more. So I would go to like 7-Eleven, McDonald's, Burger King, like everybody else. Saying, the dollar menu is cheap, but it might be cheap, but it's not really good for you. The McDouble is 380 calories, and it's like 18 grams of fat. If you add French fries to it, that's 11 grams of fat. If you add some sugary substance like soda, that may not have fat, but it has a lot of sugar. That's where most of my weight came from. I used to eat honey buns or prepared sandwiches or things in boxes. Now, there's nothing wrong with things in boxes. Don't get me wrong. I have to get, whole wheat pasta in a box. I'd rather get that than that a meal that's fully prepared, which I can make fresh, But going back to being careful about how you spend your money and being able to afford to eat correctly. Again, I mentioned it in some previous videos, but you can go to the if there is not an Asian grocer close to your home, like for those who are in New York, you can come to Brooklyn, Church Ave, you can go down to Chinatown, and you can also hit some local organic food places. But you don't have to buy organic, just make sure you get fresh. I mean, yes, it gets expensive if you're having a family of 4. It does get expensive, but you know what else is expensive? Clothes. When you're bigger, I spent more money on like bigger clothes, and I had to go to the big girl store. Now I can go in regular average store and buy it off the rack if I want to. I'm not in plus sizes anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with being a plus size, but being a plus size woman with high blood pressure, not cool. So I'm glad that I am preparing most of my meals. And if you invest in a juicer like I did, go get you some fruit and go for it. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I probably will do a separate video about juicing, but anyway, back to affording to eat healthfully. There are ways to get around it. Some people save and use coupons. Some people don't. Some people are shopping in bulk, finding things on sale. At the end of the day, you got to figure out what works for you and your household and your financial budget, your budget financially. Honestly, I'm glad that I take the time to prepare my meals. I cook a big meal on the weekend and I just divvy it up into small things. And I mix it up too, okay, maybe 2 or 3 days I eat this one meal. The next 2 days I mix it up with like a healthy tuna salad or a casserole, but it has a bunch of vegetables. Everything has to have vegetables in it. I used to struggle to get 5 vegetables a day, and now I'm probably eating more than that. I used to struggle with my iron. No longer have to struggle with iron because I'm eating kale, I'm eating collard greens, I'm eating a lot of things that already have iron in it. I'm using turmeric, spices and stuff like that. I'll get into that whenever I decide to do a cooking segment. A lot of people are asking me to do a cooking segment because they know I cook a lot, and that's what I do. That's my way of taking care of myself, because if I go back to eating the honey buns, the tuna, prepared sandwiches, and the salty things that taste good, is not going to be good for my health. So honestly, I'm kind of glad that I've taken that step. And you can even tell in my skin and in the way that I carry myself that I care about myself enough to take that extra step. And you have to do that. You have to decide what is more important. It's not easy doing this. Every day is a battle. I love chips. I make concessions with myself. I'm looking for juice recipes that cuts cravings. I mean, it's crazy because I love chips. That's the only thing that I haven't really, that I say I struggle with, because I love chips, but I don't eat them every day. But my blood pressure is completely normal because I prioritize. I make my breakfast, I make my lunch, and at night I eat dinner. If I don't eat a full meal, I'm going to grab something, a piece of fruit. I'm going to eat some raw vegetables. I'm going to eat something. A mistake a lot of people make also, and there'll be a separate video on this, is what you put in your body and how you are you eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I work with youth, and some of them don't eat breakfast, and then they go and they come to class and they can't be productive. You have to fuel your body. Just remember that. That is very, very important. You have to drink lots of water. That's very, very important. You know, you don't have to drink Kool-Aid, sugary drinks. You don't. Like maybe twice a year I might drink bottled drinks. I don't drink that stuff anymore. I drink pretty much water. There's nothing wrong with that, but I know where I gained my weight from. It was basically sugar, because I mean I had 3 bottles of things a day. I'm being real with you. It was bad. That's why I went to the stream, but it's taken me this long to like correct things, and that's why I'm a part of a lot of healthy groups, and I'm trying to really push myself to keep it up. I have accountability partners. Thank you guys so much for helping me, because I cannot do this by myself, and that's the only reason why I've had so much success. I am not doing it by myself, and there is a village behind me. There are people looking at me, emailing me, asking me how I'm doing on it. And I have colleagues, they know how I eat, so they're like, oh, no, you're not going to eat that because you're on a diet. I'm not on a diet. I have a lifestyle, and it's for the rest of my life. So I'm going to bid you adieu. But remember, eating matters. So watch what you put in your body. And plan.